Update: I would like to thank Reddit and the community. Everyone here has been so supportive and have given great advice. While I was driving away, I probably should have pulled over at some point because I was hyperventilating and couldn't get my heart rate down. However, the first thing I thought of were my kids. I immediately drove to their school and picked them up. At this point, I was getting bombarded with calls and text messages from her. I decided to block her. My only thought of the situation was, where are my kids and were they going to be okay? Even with what I just saw, I still was thinking about what was best for them. Under my supervision and control, I could make sure that they were okay. I needed them now more than her, and she could spend the weekend by herself wallowing in what she has done. Once I got the kids, I drove to a family member 2 hours away. This happened on a Friday and I was able to take a weekend and have time with just me and my kids. During this drive, I started to get calls from her mother and she was our mediator. The only thing I told her to say was the kids are safe. I told her not to share anything else about our situation or where we were going. It was Cass's choice to break up the family. I felt she didn't warrant that info. Mother-in-law agreed and told Cass kids were safe. I was emotionally dead inside. The only thing that brought out positivity were the kids. We did a bunch of activities through the weekend and had a great time together. They wondered where their mom was. I told them that this was a weekend for daddy to spend time with them. I still wanted to put Cass in a positive light and not to be spiteful to their mother. Kids eventually make their own mind up. Found out later that she was worried because of the emotional state that I was in and would somehow hurt the kids. Goes to show how much she really didn't know me anymore, because I would never do anything like that. Starting to see some of the dialogue that she was putting out there in order to sway certain opinions. To add context, though I loved her very much and wanted to make her happy, she had narcissistic qualities about her. When I was sick, she would have been more sick. I had a problem, her problem had to be bigger. Cass decided to adopt my nephew with me, but I believe that this was a tactic to lock me down. At that point in my life, I was very successful, and had a lot of good qualities that I believe someone else would want to find. During our break she realized this and saw this as an opportunity. Due to my upbringing, I have some insecurities about myself, but from what other people said, they think that I am a good person and always try to make everything better. That's always who I try to be. I'm not trying to say I'm perfect or that I didn't have my problems or issues. I most certainly did. But I always try to make everyone and everything better. My nephew became a problem to her. Since we jumped into being a family with finding out that she was pregnant, and adopting him at the same time, I believe she had some animosity because of some of her life was stolen from her. Their relationship was always rocky. He was never right in anything that he did. I think that he has some underlying issues now because of their relationship. I was constantly having to defend him for him just being a kid. He did have some issues that I do believe were valid, and we got him the appropriate care. When you get a kid into the mental health system, it's always slow and rocky because everything is trial and error for kids so young. I did my best to see all sides of the situation, but it didn't matter and I was usually stuck in the middle. To give you an update on Seth. He is married with a few kids. He does work in the industry. I am not sure what I'm going to do yet. I still can't help but think of the person that he put off and finding him in my bed like that. I do know that he has blocked me on all social media, so I'm assuming that he's doing damage control to make sure that his wife doesn't find out. However, the 10 minutes in the car before I walked in, I found out a way to contact her for a worst case scenario. The power of the completely ruining somebody scares me, but if that's the right thing to do, then is what I will do. Ruining somebody has its advantages and disadvantages, but also seeing him potentially get away with this also, it's gonna be tough to do. I would also like to let everyone know, for my own benefit and to protect myself, I did record the whole situation on my phone. I have watched it over numerous times and I know that's not the right thing to do, but I'd rather have all the pain right now than linger later. I have unblocked my wife and have had very limited contact as I told her I don't really want to talk this way. I let her talk to the kids on the phone so she can let them know that they are missed. I'm planning on having a face-to-face meeting with her and writing everything down that I have an issue with and letting her know that. A lot of you were saying just take it to a lawyer, and I think that is ultimately what's going to happen. However, I believe this one-on-one is going to give me closure and a direction moving forward. The other advice that a lot of you have given is to get a paternity test on my kids. I can say, with the utmost certainty, that these are my children. They look just like me, the timelines check out, we have the same birthmark between the three of us, and the color of hair isn't something that could be questioned. In the beginning, I truly believe that she did love me or loved the idea of me. I don't believe that she would have screwed that up. But just for all of our sakes, I still might do the test to leave no stone unturned. Some of my close friends that have given me great advice in the past have told me that I'm doing the right thing by not acting rash. With the video I could totally ruin her and Seth, but what would I do to my kids? Regardless, I am going to be able to put some stipulations on how we move forward one way or the other, and I'm trying to figure out what those are. I'm not trying to get back with her, I'm trying to find the best way to move forward for our kids. I will post another update following this conversation.